Hello, everyone. So for my midterm project presentation, I decided to come up with this idea. Since our class name is Computer Application in Construction Management, I decided to do this. So first of all, I wanted to create some way to decide if a project would be risk or not in order to continue with the planification of such project. So I decided to start building this new code. And so the application purpose of this project is to help engineers and site managers quickly assess safety risks before starting to work. So my targets are obviously civil engineering, but it can also be used for site supervisors and safety managers. And I think I will directly go through the code to explain how it works and what it does, so you can have a better idea of everything. Okay, so here we go. The first part that we have here is the import. So as you can see, I had the tkinter uh, and also the tkinter message bus. So this part imports the tools needed for the program. The tkinter is used to create the GUI window, buttons, labels, and input boxes and text area. And the message box is used to show pop-up message like error, warning, or save successfully. The date time, is used to record the current date and time in the report. And here, moving to the definition calculate risk score. So this function calculates the total safety risk score. So it receives the user's input, such as experience, height, the weather, the PPE, the equipment, and the complexity scores. So then the program starts with a score of 0, and that means that the risk score starts at 0. Then the program adds point depending on the danger level. So for example, let me go here. If the experience is 1, the score is 25. So this means if the worker has less than 1 year of experience, the risk increased by 25 points. For the height here, if it's equal to 10, then it's equal to 25. So this means if the work height is 10 meters or higher, the risk is high. So the program adds 25 points. And same for the weather. And I have some options like good, rainy, stormy weather, and typhoon warning. So for weather, PPE, equipment, and the complexity, the program uses dictionaries, which are these ones. Okay. So this means that each option has a risk value. For example, good is at 0 points, but typhoon warning adds 30 points. And this function sends the final risk score back to the program. So moving on to the risk evaluation function. Let me go down here, this function. So this function converts the numerical score into a risk level and decision. For example, if the score is greater than 30, is equals to a low risk. So decision will be work can proceed normally, keep regular monitoring. This means if the score is less than 30, sorry, it wasn't greater, less than 30, and the activity is low risk. So the program classifies the risk like this. From 0 to 29 is low risk. From 30 to 59 is medium risk. From 60 to 89 is high risk, and from 90 to above is extremely risk. So at the end, the function returns both the risk level and the recommended decision here. Then this part is to save the report because At the end, it generates a report, and I will show you later. Then went up to the button function, this part. So this function runs when the user clicks to calculate risk button. First, it gets the information from the GUI, like the activity, experience, height, weather, and all the other things that I mentioned before. And then it takes a decision. Okay, so let me go to this part. So the report would look something like this at the end. Oh, and this part is for the error handling. So this prevents the program from crashing. For example, if the user types ABC instead of a number, the program will show an error message instead of just stopping and crashing. And again, save button clicked. And also have a clear button here. And then moving on to the GUI design. So this creates the main window. The title is shown at the top of the windows. And here's all the specification I use, 850 times 650 pixels. I have a title level. And all this is in order to just make a more good looking window. And for some instance, because I didn't know how to make it more pretty, for some say, I asked AI to help me to model up more beautiful window. So I'm gonna show it to you now how it looks. Okay, here we go. So construction activity. Let's say we want to build a bridge. Okay. For work experience, how many years you've been doing this? Let's say this is maybe your 5th year doing this. The work height, let's say the bridge is put at maybe 40 meters distance from the ground. Let's say that the weather condition, it's good. We can choose rainy and typhoon warning, strong wind, but I will put good just to show you how it will go. The PPE condition, let's say that is complete. The equipment condition, let's say that it's good. And work complexity, let's say that is medium complex. So now moving to calculate risk. So here we go. It generated a report. It's a construction site safety risk assessment report. It showed the time that it was generated, and it showed the activity. This is a resume of all the input data that we do. And calculation risk score. So it shows us that it has a 40 points in the risk scale. So this means that it's medium risk. And the management decision will be work can proceed only after safety briefing and supervisory confirmation. So what is the problem here? That is too high. So for example, let's clear this. And maybe let's put, instead of 40, let's put maybe 10 meters. And the same here, bridge. And I'm gonna come up with this. So calculate risk. Okay, show the same risk of level. Let me do something. Low. Calculate risk. Yeah. So something that this program also takes a lot of account is the work complexity. Like if it's too complex, it will add automatically a lot of points. So for example here, let me show you work complexity work. Yeah. This part right here. Extremely risk. Okay, this part right here. So depending on how the complexity level works, it will add either 5, 12, or 22. So this is a really vital point that we always have to be aware of, not only about the height, but also the complexity. And as you can see, as soon as I just changed the word complexity, it went from medium to low. And if we increase this, yeah, exactly. Now it's show us that it has a 50 points of risk and medium risk. And if we increase, like before, more height, now medium risk still. But let's do, for example, equipment condition unsafe. Let's put the worst possible outcome. So let's say that is 100 meters from the ground, that I have 1 year of experience, have typhoon warning, seriously missing, and really unsafe. So I'm putting all the worst possible icon and input story, and it exceeds 100. So it shows that it's extremely risk. So I think this shows perfectly how my code works and the purpose of what I want to do. And that's it. So my conclusion is that this project successfully developed a UI-based construction safety risk decisions support system. So using Python and tkinter, the application allows the users to input key construction conditions and automatically evaluates the safety risk by calculating a risk score, determining a risk level, and providing a recommended management decision. So for the future work, this system could be improved by incorporating real-time data, expanding risk factors, or integrating with sensors and AI-based prediction models to enhance accuracy and usability. That's it. Thank you very much for listening.